Alright, I'm gonna do a huge video. At the top of the title, I'm gonna do a series review and a comparison between Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I also go look at the movie, Come Across Bala, because this is also a part of the original series because this is a continuation from that. I would not use the Sacred Star meals because that is not canon to the Brotherhood story. So I'm not talking about that, but for now, let's get started with this video. Now, with the 2003 series, by the time this was being made, a manga was still being in the works, so they were having a hard time trying to slow down with the story, with the series, so they could catch up with the story. But it did not turn out the way it did, and with that, they had to make up their own shit with the story, and that's it's basically the 2003 summary story. But it's still a great series. Like I said, Fullmetal Alchemist, original Brotherhood is like one of my favorite series of all time. But with this, the 2003 series is so much darker. It really is darker because how do I explain this? I don't know. There's a lot of character death in this. Be prepared for that. Some of your favorite might die. It's just annoying as hell, and it just. But they do build up the characters development for the series, for Ed and Al especially because these. I will get this out like these two. They have a perfect brother chemistry because you grow attached from these characters from day one. It just from that first scene, you see them transmuting their old mother back to life. You grow attached to them a lot. And it just something they did very well with it. I'm glad they executed right, even with the 2003 series because do you see a lot of people hating this series because it's not the original story, but it's still pretty good. I really say that it really is pretty good. Is it nothing like Brotherhood? No, not by far, but it's still a great series. With the 2003 series, we also get a new villain, and we also get two homunculi that were made just for the series. And what I'm talking about is Raph and Slav. Raph, well, before I explain these, I will explain the origin for the homunculi in this one. Because it's so much different than Brotherhood by far. So, with Brotherhood, no, I'm sorry, with the 2003 series, these guys, the homunculi were born from human transmutation. Every one of the homunculi were born from human transmutation. Raph was born from Izumi, unborn child that died and she wanted to bring him back to life, and that's how Raph was born. With Slav, that is Ed and Ma and Al mother, human transmutation, and that is kind of the main difference between this origins from the Brotherhood one because like these we get a new villain they made up which I think is perfect and her name is Dante.
Perhaps. But it's been centuries since our last meeting, Ho and I. We'll have plenty of time to talk later. Right now, why don't you help me enjoy this new body?
Sorry.
Tell me, why did you leave? Wasn't eternal life enough for you?
With Dante, her background was just, I have to admit, that was really interesting and genius. using the Philosopher's Stone for her to live almost 400 years immortality. That was pretty good using other people's bodies to do that. It was genius. I will admit that it is great, but there's I will explain later on. But there's some things that I did not like about this one. But it just really, really great because it bring out that dark element to this. Explaining the Philosopher's Stone. It's awesome. Explain how Ed and Alexander were involved in this too. Which I was kind of shocked to hear about this when I first saw the series because again, you did not expect that to happen. It just wow. Dante, a really great character, just really well developed, very interesting what they did with her background, with her immortality. Really similar to Brotherhood in some connection. Really similar, but very different. It's just really, really, I would to say, like, with the story with this, using Rose as making her as a new body, and every time, like, she use a Philosopher's Stone, her soul just messing up her new body, like, because it been used so many times, your soul is going to be rotten, and your new body is going to be rotten as well. Same thing for Holmheim, like his body was rotting as well. So it was very interesting to see that, and I just love it so much. Even I will say this: the freaking soundtrack for this series is just one of my favorites of all time. The soundtrack was awesome. It gets you into the mood with the darkness, the sadness, the funny shit that's happened in the series. Everything is awesome. Even the freaking openings in Andy's songs were great, but there are some I did not like. Like I did not like the first opening because it just didn't give out like attention. It didn't give me pumped off with the series. And same thing for the. I did not like the third and fourth ending songs because they were just kind of boring. Something I did not like. But it. I guess they. I don't know. People don't like Andy's music live, but I do because they're really good. A lot of them are, but these they're just didn't get my attention. Like anyone that takes great ending music, Brotherhood is a great example for it. But I'm gonna talk about that one later. But the soundtrack is really, really amazing. Get get you pumped up. The animation for the time this came out is very beautiful. One of my favorite from 2003, and it's just awesome myself. I just cannot explain, but the series, the ending for this series, really, really is really horrible because they expect you to get into the movie without going to talk about right now. The Conqueror of Shambhala. This great movie, but it did not have a great setup for this one. It did not have a great setup because once you get into the movie, you already know like what's going to happen. Like you see Al when his old body, like he's lost almost half his memory. So once you get in the movie, you see Al trying to regain his memory and trying to return to his world. And if I now explain it, when I talk about the worlds is again the difference between Brotherhood and the original series. Beyond the gate, it's another world, and that world is our world. And the people who died from our world go through the gate, and people use those energies for alchemy. And that's basically it. Like these people have a purpose, kind of a purpose when they die. They are used for alchemy. It's just kind of interesting too, if I think about it. But anyway, with this movie, it just something that you do not expect at all. It's the Sacred Star of Milos. It's something I will recommend to people if they like the original series and so much and they never seen the movie. It just, I will say this about the ending for this as well. It's pretty crappy. It really is. I don't know why they continue to make another crappy ending because it had potential. It did have potential. The good side about it was just Anne and Al reuniting. That's it. It just, it was horrible. The movie was really awesome. Get you to that. It's still dark as hell, like from the original series, but even more darker. If I could know how that was possible, but after watching this, it is. Great movie. Everyone did amazing with this. Voice acting, they were awesome. I went there for the original series and the movie. They were awesome. So even the animation for this movie just blew my mind. And for a movie that take place after the series, bringing us more content, it did a good job. I like this one. But if I had to give these two a rating, I would give these guys I say 8 out of 10 because the ending was horrible and there was like plot holes. I mean plot holes with the homunculi that I wanted to know, like Pride. Pride, where was he? Who made Pride? In the series, they talk about how the homunculi were born. Who made Pride? I wanted to know who Pride was made from. Same thing for what is his name? Hold on for a minute. Gluttony, there you go. Same thing for Gluttony, like seriously. Those I want to know who made them, and they did not explain it in the original series or the movie. Because again, I would love to know how Pride was made. And same thing for Gluttony. But then that's like one of the main plot holes that I actually cannot stand because I kind of want to know more about it, and they really didn't. So.
Brother!
Great! I buy you a wrench and you try to kill me with it!
Well, apparently you're trying to kill yourself! What have you been up to?
Yeah, once Brotherhood was born, the manga just was continuing going on, and once it stopped, a few years later, there's like, we want to make an anime series done, right? And that's where Brotherhood came in, and again, this is one of my favorite anime series of all time. I'm not kidding. It really is that great. It really is that great. I can't praise it a lot, and I'm going to explain why right now. Now, with Fullmetal Brotherhood, they wanted to do the original story, but the very first few episodes, memorize these episodes. Except for the first episode. That's new, but with the original series, when you first watch it, you'll know that some episodes are definitely the same from the original. And they are going really, really fast because they want to get through these. And that is, again, one of the downside of this one, but it does get really, really better if you just stick through these because they are part of the plot, but not the main plot of this whole series. Now with this, everything is different. Like I said, the homunculi, the homunculi in this series, they were born from the Philosopher's Stone. Like they were not born from humans transmutation. And we get new characters in here, like lust, greed. Well, they're not new characters, but still, new voice actors and all that. But the new one we never saw in here is Sloth and Wrath. And Pride. There we go, Pride. I was trying to remember what the last one was. Sorry about that, but yeah, these are the new homunculi we get here. One of them, you know who they were, but they were given a different name from the original series. So with these, with the original stories, we get new characters. We get Ling, who is my personal favorite because it's fucking hilarious. We get Alice Louise Armstrong's sister, who is a badass, I will say that. She will intimidate the crap out of you. Just from that episode, we get Miles, who is the only violent soldier from up in the north. We get her, him, we got, there's so many. Lee May, who is from Sing, and I will explain what it is in Sing. We get something called alchemy, and alchemy is basically alchemy, but just for healing. But they could use it for weapons as well. And the one who made these were actually two people. Hohenheim and our father, who they are an important plot in this series, to believe in, really, really important. Along with a homunculi who took advantage of Hohenheim and just made. Look, he is like a replica of Hohenheim, and he given the name Father to the homunculi because he's the one that made homunculi and the military for the way it is right now. It's just very awesome. It just gets you the story in here is just 100 times better. There's actually one plot hole, but it wasn't even huge for me. It was just like when Ed, Al, and Izumi did the human transmutation, they made these creatures. I don't know what they are. I just wish we get more details about these, like give it a little intel, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't involve the story so much. It's just so awesome. And it just, ooh, I could go on and on about Brotherhood. This series is just, again, one of my favorites of all times. With this, it gets you so bad. It really does. There are some sad scenes in here that get you to cry. Like, the main one I would see is Maze Hugh's death because he affected everyone in the series to the very end of the series. It really, his death meant something because in the original series, it was just like dark and sad as fuck, but it didn't mean nothing. But in here, May's death meant something, and that just fucking awesome. It just makes you like, them feels like all that crap. But get more sad things. In here, we get the fates of Winry's parents who were killed. In the original series, it was Roy Mustang who killed her parents. But with Brotherhood, it was actually Scar who killed her. And that affected Winry a lot. Like, seeing her almost shooting Scar, it just really gets you. And it also grew the bond between Ed and Winry. And that is what people like a lot because in the original series, you don't get that shit a lot. You don't. You get little hints of it just from the OVA, but that's about it. And that is just nothing. I don't want to get into too much detail with this because I did a review on here not too long ago. And if I had to get the series, I would give it my personal thing. I give it a 10 out of 10 because they did everything right. I would give it a 9 like my previous review, but watching this again, definitely give me a 10 out of 10 because they did everything right. Very beautiful. It's a fucking masterpiece. One of my. Now we get down to the comparison. Like which one did it better and which one did. Now with the comparison, the story is almost similar, but in different ways. They involve immortality. its original series, it was done by Dante, who wanted to live forever by stealing people's body. With Brotherhood, it's just using the philosopher's stone to never age. That is basically it. Like that's just a huge difference right here, but still the same plot story. It's just different. Which one done it better? I will have to say the original series because with the original series, they did it better. Like I like the whole living forever, stealing people's bodies. That's just really, really great. Brotherhood was still great, but I like the original one better. But again, score one for original, and you get on with the other one. Next is to Monkey Lie, how they were made. With the original series, they were done by human transmutation. With the Brotherhood series, they were born by Philosopher's Stone. And I will say this, I think Brotherhood did it better because there was no plot hole for this. You understand where they came from. They're like a part of father. And with the original series, you get a bunch of plot holes like, okay, they were born from human transportation, but where would this one came from? Where did this one came from? With Brotherhood, it just give you the full details, and I like that a lot. So again, Brotherhood with this one, and again, the soundtrack here, I will say I love Brotherhood soundtrack better because it gets everything right. With the original series, don't get me wrong, it was really good. It just get darker and darker. It just with the original one, it just gets its mood with the original series. I like it a lot. The openings were awesome. The endings were awesome. I like them a lot. So I had to give Brotherhood another point for that one. And we get on with the characters in here. The characters are just compared with these. I have to say again Brotherhood because we get character development from a lot of these. With the original series, Scar, he sacrificed his life to make a Philosopher's Stone. Okay, but with the Brotherhood, he understand the mistake he did, and what he did was join Ann and Alan to defeat Father. That was huge character development. And Dr. Marcos, with the original series, he died like almost like 4 episodes once you see him. In Brotherhood, he played a huge part in the whole war. Like he played a huge part, and I like that a lot. And we also get like new characters that I love, like Lee. It just I have to go to Brotherhood because they did character development really, really great. It just gets you when someone dies. It's just very awesome. Like again, Brotherhood. Another point. The story. Again, I have to say it goes to Brotherhood. It does go to Brotherhood because one, the story just from the first episode, you get thrown into the story. You get into it. Like he does not want to stop with the original series. It does get dark and slow at sometimes, and it just something that a lot of people do not want to see. But it's just something that the story was awesome. The Philosopher's Stone is just amazing. The villain, the main villain, it's not one of my favorite, but what he does is just make the story even more better. And I have to say, another point going to Brotherhood. And the final one, I have to say, the main villain. And I will say, I like Dante a lot more. Because Dante, is wicked. The way he used the Philosopher's Stone is just amazing. Just pure amazing. And I will say, if I had to choose, again I chose, but I have to say Dante because he was intimidating. Father, he is also intimidating, but not as much as Dante because you get chills just from hearing their origin stories. Living for 400 years, different bodies after different bodies. That is really awesome. Like with the original series, with Brotherhood, he just finally just like a little monkey, like you see in a jar, like, and he just grows to be powerful. Like again, I can't take that seriously because I always think he's a little homunculus stuck in a little jar. It's what I see a lot. So again, I have to say the original series win this one. Overall, if I had to say which one to choose, just begin all this, I will say Brotherhood because it's a original story and it's just very awesome. And you want to get into how they all started with this animated series, check out the original. You will not be disappointed with this one. And I will say that is it for my huge video for the Fullmetal Alchemist series. It's one of my favorite series of all times. I do not mind watching these over and over again. I'm glad I got these in my collection, and I hope you like this video. Leave a comment below, and if anyone who watched this, give me some freaking ideas for new reviews I could do. I love doing reviews. I love watching anime a lot, so please leave a comment below. Give me some suggestions. And thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys later.